Hi, NorthSouth Productions. My name is Alicia Harmon and I live in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm a realtor, although my real passion is the outdoors, animals, and extreme sports. And I'd like to show you why I think I should be chosen as the host for Dangerous Wild Animals. So many jobs, so many lives, so many things. I'd like to show you a little bit about myself. Which all started with Jane Goodall. When I was just about 9 years old, I saw a Jane Goodall special on National Geographic. Convinced that that was my life. So I pursued that. First getting degrees of all kinds in high school, college for psychology, and then 2 master's degrees. Resource management and experimental psychology based in primatology. Alicia Harmon, human and macaca milana, macaca fascicularis, interconnections at temple sites in Asia. Yeah, mouthful, huh? But it took me a year, 3 months to collect all the data, and about a year to write. In the meantime, I worked at the Chimpanzee and Human Communication Institute with the famous chimpanzees Washoe and her friends. There, I was able to do a year and a half of research. The chimpanzees who used American Sign Language, very unique. Presented some of that research at the Rocky Mountain Psychology Association conference, as well as one in China, where they gave me this nifty bag. After, I still kept my eye on all things primate and started a job in travel as well, going to Peru, Africa, leading trips all over the world, going to visit the Warani, where I picked up that nice little blowgun. I'm also a bit of a writer. I've written 3 articles, mostly about paragliding or speed flying. This one in Cross Country Magazine is about fast, furious fun. And I got to do it. I love it. I'm an adrenaline junkie for sure. This one, Ecuador in the rain. This was a great trip. Spent a month with my boyfriend flying in Ecuador. I wrote an article called, appropriately enough, Monkeys and Tumbling Apes. I've always been very much into academics and I love explaining wildlife, conservation, ecology, ethology to people, especially to teenagers. I've been a teen coordinator at the Woodland Park Zoo. I've taught Spanish in Philadelphia in high school there. Another excellent job. But for fun, because you know, sometimes you gotta let your hair down. For fun, I like to do things like skydive, paraglide. One of my biggest passions is paragliding. It's a sport that has allowed me to travel the world, and one day I hope to fly with condors. Maybe we can make that happen, NorthSouth. I learned speed flying last year. Give me a bit of a challenge and a little adrenaline, I'll do anything. So some of the other activities I like to do include snow kiting, relatively new sport, but amazing. Just with the power of the wind and this kite, well, I can go anywhere. See ya! Can you imagine trying to outrun a polar bear on one of these? That would be good. I'm a huge conservationist. However, I do have a guilty pleasure. I love my motorbike. It's so much fun. But generally I try to do sports, extreme sports and all types of sports that don't involve using up resources. I try to conserve whatever possible. So, let's not talk about it. When I was 20, I went to Africa to study wildlife and conservation. At the Moshi Ranger School, I learned to shoot a rifle in self-defense against animals and poachers. It was necessary because we really were out on safari in the wild, often with very little protection. Luckily, they had enough to eat, being in a reserve. Living in Africa was like a dream come true. Here's the hut I lived in while researching the chimpanzees. That was our kitchen. These are shots of the very first chimps I ever saw in the wild. Absolutely priceless for me. Here are some photos from my research time in Nepal and India. Monkeys in India are part of not only the culture, but also the religion, and are found pretty much spread out throughout the entire country, mostly at temple sites, but also in the wild. And notoriously in every city as well. The locals deal with the monkeys in their own way, but it doesn't seem to disturb them too much. There is a definite peace between the locals and the monkeys. Although some animals are abused and hurt, often by traps, sometimes by other animals. Often vicious attacks, but it was best to don't make eye contact, hide your upper teeth, look as submissive as possible. My research at temple sites in Asia has helped with our understanding of human and non-human primate interactions, which is most important considering the possibility of disease transmission. Later on, as a guide, I would use my expertise often. However, the focus had shifted equally now to the humans as well as the non-humans. My friend Kakuta Ole Hamasi had invited us to visit his tribe in Africa, in Kenya, and we were very, very lucky to not only hang out with the Maasai warriors, but to be taught by them as well. My favorite part was always safari. I'm fascinated by everything they do and love to educate others about it as well. In almost every country, human and animals interact, and sometimes they conflict. Especially as our habitat disappears, it happens more and more often. Some interactions should be encouraged, especially among curious whales and inner-city teens. Like these teens from San Diego that I led in Baja. I have traveled the world studying monkeys, sometimes academically, sometimes just hanging around just for fun. I feel that I'm highly qualified due to my education and experience working with both primates and other animals. I've had worldwide experience with the small, seemingly harmless animals, as well as the large and potentially dangerous animals. One of the most scary experiences I've ever had with an animal has to do with the macaques I studied. I pride myself on not getting bit, and unfortunately, sometimes you piss them off. I ended up kicking one by accident. I was sitting on a bench, and there were macaques everywhere, babies all over the place. One of them grabs me from behind, just touching the back of my foot, scaring me just a little bit, enough so I kicked forward, whacked the baby in front of me. He squeals, and I've got Mom on me in an instant. She ripped through my pants and just bit right through the fabric. Luckily, she didn't pierce my skin, and I calmly got up, slowly walked away, and therefore she knew I wasn't really a threat. But I have to say, my heart was beating extremely fast, because rabies shots are no fun. That's scary. Climbing the mountain, I encountered the vicious mountain lion, who, as normal cats do, usually flee. Animals usually will run away from you. They rarely attack. The only reason a mountain lion would attack is if it was really hungry, or if it felt cornered, or if you threatened its young. Generally, if you see a mountain lion, try to look big and scary. Wave your arms, make some noise. Never, never run. Running triggers the predator response in the cat. The cat will then attack and pounce. If that should happen, make sure to fight back. Often that will run away. They rarely take a human life, often just small pets, could be small children, so watch your kids and your pets. I've been chased by warthogs, cheetahs, elephants, you name it. I love wild animals, I love dangers, I love excitement. Bring it on. Okay. Hi, NorthSouth Productions. My name is Alicia Harmon. I live in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I really don't need to be squatting like this. 1 second. Okay, let's find another way. Hi. Hi, NorthSouth Productions. My name is Alicia Harmon. I live in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'm about to get